Subscribe to our YouTube channel and press the bell icon to get the latest updates.
From a little-known invention over a decade ago, cryptocurrencies, or crypto assets as they're increasingly being called, have seemed to have come of age. The cumulative market capitalization of cryptocurrencies has now touched $3 trillion last month. Of this, Bitcoin, the original cryptocurrency, makes up the bulk. But even as the ups and downs of Bitcoin prices continue to garner a majority of the eyeballs in the space, many other developments have been afoot. To name a couple, there is now a serious amount of capital chasing cryptocurrency space, whether from institutional or retail investors. In India, there are nearly 15 million retail investors trading in crypto assets by some accounts. This year, we've also seen 2 unicorns in the crypto exchange space in India. Cryptocurrencies are also spawning newer disruptive use cases like decentralized finance or DeFi applications that not only seek to transfer money or payments, but also conduct more sophisticated transactions like borrowing and lending without any intermediaries. There are efforts to address first-generation problems like volatility, scale, and the environmental fallout. For instance, stablecoins whose value is pegged to stable assets like US dollar are emerging. The second largest cryptocurrency, the Ethereum network, is attempting to move from energy-guzzling and expensive proof-of-work consensus protocols to something that is more energy efficient by 2022. Central banks and big tech companies have also thrown their hat in the ring. They are responding with challenges to cryptocurrencies of their own in the form of central bank digital currencies and stablecoins that seek to piggyback on the enormous networks that social media companies bring to the table. Crypto is no longer fringe or a fad, or so it seems. Regulators around the world are devising a number of strategies to deal with them. These range from restrictive to permissive to permissive to cautious. So the question is, what next for crypto and crypto regulation? I'm joined by my 3 esteemed panelists. Each of our panelists brings a unique perspective to the table. As my colleague Suyash mentioned, Mr. Garg is the former finance secretary and also the Secretary of Economic Affairs in the Ministry of Finance in the Government of India. You could say that he's been in the thick of policy making, not just related to the financial sector, but also cryptocurrencies. He chaired the Interministerial Committee on Virtual Currencies that submitted a report in the middle of 2019 along with the draft bill. This is possibly the only report that's available in the public domain that sort of articulates the initial thinking of the government on the subject. We also have Robert, my colleague at Carnegie. Robert's research has focused extensively on the Chinese financial sector and specifically their central bank digital currency, the digital yuan. Robert has also worked extensively on cryptocurrencies as well as issues and risk strategies related to digital token trading platforms as well as exchanges during his stint, if I'm not wrong, as a senior advisor in the US Treasury. Our third and final panelist is also an economist by training, and he brings a ringside view, perhaps, to the innovation and startup ecosystem in India. He's advised numerous tech companies, and he's also guided many of these startups as a board member. I'd like to extend a warm welcome to all our panelists today. And before I request each of them to deliver their initial remarks, I'd like to request our viewers to key in their questions in the chat box, and we'll come to you towards the end of the session. Sir, if I can hand over the mic to you now.
Thank you very much, Pradarshini. It's a pleasure to be here. So the crypto world is emerging. It's grown big now, $3 trillion, as has been mentioned right away. I happen to chair that committee which came up with a draft and famously or notoriously recommended banning the cryptocurrencies, which still define the narrative around and create a lot of interest, tensions and all. But let me say where we are now and how differently we sort of viewed it 2.5 years back. The knowledge at that time was quite limited, I must admit, and it was mostly sort of focused on the currency aspect of the crypto world. That there is a Bitcoin which has come up and which is sort of moving all around with its valuations going so ups and down. In 1 year, in 2017, we witnessed it going from about $3,000 to $20,000 in a space of 1 month. Then it sort of came down to about 4,000 again, and now of course we have seen it's gone to 70,000, came back. So there is a lot of gyration in the valuation of it. Of course, lot more people have come on the platform. Many more described as cryptocurrencies have come. There are thousands of them now in the world. So at that time, we were basically worried about that there is some currency which is coming up, which might sort of impact the central bank's currency, which is the rupee in India. And the people might get drawn into buying it without actually knowing that what is behind it, what is the true value of it. And they might get trapped either because of the valuation effects or maybe because of the there might be frauds behind it. None of us understood it very well. And the big thought was that the currency is the sovereign's business. Nobody else has any right to sort of issue currencies, etc. And therefore, the most logical and clear option for not only saving the mandate of the central bank to issue and manage currencies, but also to save people, is to sort of ban the cryptocurrencies. Right?